Hey guys, this is Rainmaker here at Rainmaker's Customs. It's been quite some time since I've put anything here on YouTube, so I thought we'd go ahead and do a repair here. Didn't think about it until I already got part of the way through into it. But anyways, what I'm working on today is a Cobra 29 LX, and what we're replacing is a bad TalkBack and SWR calibration knob. As you can see, this thing's been kind of bent pretty bad, so that's actually what we're working on today. So I've already got the old one out, going back and doing the install on this, and then we're going to do a light peek and tune on it, and also do what they classify as a poor man's mod, to go ahead and give it just a little extra. So we're going to finish up our wiring here for this, and then get into the other. I'm not sure how long I've got as far as on video format, so we'll go for a little bit and see what takes place here. Get our wires all the way back down just the way they was from the factory here. Reinstall this. Slight more tweak. That way we can make sure that everything's locked in properly. Yeah, most of the videos that I do, guys, typically are on Facebook. Like I said, it's been quite some time since I've uploaded any new videos here. A lot of it's because of the fact that I don't think about it, to be quite honest with you. Everybody seems to be using Facebook a lot more here lately for videos and for information purposes. So but anytime you're reinstalling these face plates, make sure you don't force it. Take your time, work it all down in there. That way it's in there properly. Try to get this piece here to slide back in there like it's supposed to be properly. And then probably one of the most important, and I see this a lot, and it's nearly impossible to get a replacement bezel for these things. I know because I've tried. So whenever you go to tighten your screws down, preferably use a small screwdriver. And these 4 screws, you just need to just lightly tighten them down. The reason why is because you've got your actual face cover that's going to allow these screws not to be able to back out, so you you don't want to over tighten or over stress that plastic on these. I've got several repairs to do today, guys, so I'm not sure how many videos I'll upload. I know I'm going to try this one here and kind of go from that point moving forward on the radios. I usually do other types of repair work and custom builds on Facebook, so I'm kind of going to go from there. Okay, looking at our label here. So this is for T.man. He is down in Mobile, Alabama. Well, we've got our serial number there, so we can go ahead and confirm what we have done to this. Alright. We're going to go ahead while we're waiting on our desoldering tool to heat up. Reinstall our knobs. Set everything at minimum. Or we can line up our pointers accordingly. At least with the ones that have the fluted shaft. Now the Delta tune actually has a stop point, so we're going to hit that up on our center stop, and then install the knob to where it's as respectably close to center as we can get. Small knobs, I'm going to check those out because I think one of them, there we go, yeah, that's working properly, not dragging. Check our volume, they may have just had it pushed down too tight. Yep. Okay, so it moves properly and freely by itself. If not, a lot of times you can take either a small piece of sandpaper, you can use a Dremel and lightly score the inside or sand the inside of those and free that up, basically just making the hole just a little bit bigger, and that'll allow you to go ahead and have that extra room needed in order to go ahead and give it a little more free play if you have some that stick. Some of these knobs, especially the chrome plated ones, I've seen where they actually have burrs on the inside where they don't deburr them very well. So, okay. And I've got a couple of different ones here for T.man that had the limiters cut, and that's what we're checking to make sure. And this one, the limiter has not been cut. So, what we're going to actually do is just do a small, what's classified as a poor man's mod, and that consists of going in here and replacing this jumper towards the back. It's actually called JP36. Now, I actually sell some kits online too, and depending on the kit, you'll actually pull that out and install a regular module in there. Now, the modules are a whole lot better. What I'm actually getting ready to do is a much more economical, and will give you almost the same, but not quite. Essentially, this is just to be able to drop our dead key is what we're going to do. So we are going to go ahead and give it a quick tune up. We're going to go ahead and install the mod kit first, and then do our peek and tune on this. because I know ahead of time about what he's looking for. And then essentially just install your capacitor, putting the negative towards the back hole, making sure you seat everything down. Give your wire lead just a slight tug. I'll usually go ahead and give them a slight bend back, and what that does, that helps lock that part in place. During the time that you flip it over, solder it in. Another important step, a lot of people want to try to use a 1/4 watt resistor. Remember guys, you know, you are actually putting RF through the circuitry. But anyways, use at least a 1/2 watt. 1 watt's preferred, but at least a minimum of a 1/2 watt because of the voltage in the RF that's actually on the circuit. 1/4 watt just doesn't hold up. Just a little bit better. And then changing the value on this will either increase or decrease your physical dead key. Generally speaking, I'll use for most of these, if I'm just doing something quick and simple like this for economics, typically I'll use 47, anywhere from a 47 to a 68 in relationship to the resistance, and that generally yields me somewhere around a 2.5 to 3 watt by the time I get through doing a peak and tune on it. So I've already got, like I said, the control replaced that needed to be. It's always best if you have one. If not, if you're just doing radios, buy you about a 50. You can buy about a 50 watt dummy load online, relatively inexpensive. But you really need to use at least some form of a dummy load when you're peaking and tuning a radio. You're going to have a lot better response on the overall when you're when you're finished. Because even if your standing wave is down to a essentially what you think is a 1.1, it actually varies across the band. Even though you may not see it on your watt meter, you may actually see a little difference in output power from channel 1 to channel 40 on an antenna versus using a dummy load. Okay, we've got our watt meter set on peak. We're using a 25 watt slug and forward. Okay, we've already got a radio preset to channel 20. This will do everything that I need it to do. Audio. Audio. We're going to go ahead and open up the VR adjustment, VR4 for audio. We've got some forward swing. We're going to adjust L14 for our maximum peak. Audio. Okay, now we're going to have to flip up to 2 times, so we're at 50. Audio. And right at about 25. Audio. Hello, audio. Okay, so it's actually about as far as we're going to actually take this one. There's a lot more power that can be produced out of these radios. Like I said, this one's just in for bare bones peak and tune. Its primary function was so that we could replace the TalkBack switch. Which gives us about a 3 watt dead key where we've got it. Hello, audio. Okay. I know it's kind of difficult there to see the watt meter as well. We'll work on that as far as trying to get things maybe reorganized a little differently on the workbench in the upcoming months so that it's a little easier. We're going to hook up our external speaker. That way we can confirm the TalkBack's working properly. Hello, 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 check 1, 2, check, 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 test 1, 2, check, check, test 1, 2, check, 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 audio. Okay, it's working properly. Now we're going to check our SWR. Set that to calibrate. Which may or may not do it since we've got the mod kit in there. Audio. Okay. Put it on SWR. Showing good. Go back to calibrate. That way we know that everything's wired properly on the control. Okay. Double check it again. Showing 1.1. Now one of the other things that whenever you peak and tune a radio, you'll want to check hello audio, which is your antenna warning indicator. Now that's where flipping it over to the antenna actually works the best. Audio. Audio. But we're going to turn it all the way up, and then we're going to back it off about a 1/8 of a turn. usually once you start really tweaking these, you're actually going to have that warning indicator go off during modulated power. Alright guys, well, we've got our repair done and we're ready to actually ship this back to the customer as soon as we put the tins on it. Thanks for watching, guys.